Who's that on TV? Oh shit. Looks like John Wick. Bill and Ted, just Ted. Neo from the Matrix. Who's that? Keanu Reeves.
Hello and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland, Season 5, Episode 5, Bram Stoker's Dracula. I am your co-host, Denali. Welcome to our vampire coven. I am the sexy one with a mustache and cape.
Oh, howdy, I'm the one that's from Texas for some reason. My name's co-host Ryan.
For the last time, co-host Denali, I tell you not to bring back foreigners to our coven.
Yeehaw!
He won't learn the voice. He does not strike fear into the hearts of our enemies.
You are really killing the vibe, Ryan. At least to try.
Okay. I'll try one of them, England accents,
gosh.
okay?
Okay.
Hello, from England. You want to suck some blood?
That was somehow worse. Okay, and let
is
me be clear. Let me be clear as well. Like I'm not doing like a regional stick. Like I'm actually from Dayton, Ohio, and when I was bit, this happened. Like this is
from
the way I
Dayton?
speak.
The same
shit,
thing
everybody
happened to
counts on
me.
me.
Where are you from?
I'm from just outside of Austin.
Oh,
Yeah, I knew. That's clear.
We
I was
can
talking
tell.
to yeah.
Yes. Me, I'm from Poolsboro. Poolsboro. I cannot even
You-
say it any longer.
Yeah, with the
I
with
think I
the
got bit by a
bigger.
different kind of vampire.
You got bit by a rattlesnake, and then you accidentally got bit by a vampire because he felt like helping you.
What's your guys' favorite part about being a vampire?
Man, it's got to be the that weird room. You guys know what room I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I know
yes.
the room. Yeah, the room with the dirt.
Yes. We
Uh,
need the dirt.
I call it my dirt
do you
room.
guys not have a room?
Yeah, it's a dirt room I sleep in, and
Oh no, dude, you got. Oh man, you gotta get on the train over here. I've got a different kind of room.
What is in this room?
Well, originally,
Yeah.
it looks like just a bed.
Oh.
Okay.
Memory-
Oh, okay, I see.
memory
I see
foam?
what you're doing, Jace. Yeah,
Oh, well, it's got some memories.
that's great. Well, I as part of our coven, like we each have to have a shtick, right? Like I am the sexy one that's been decided with the three of us. You know, you're like the roguish vampire, Ryan.
Oh,
and
and I'm the brains.
well, I was saying Jace might be the brain.
Don't know about that.
I watch too many memes to be the brains anymore.
What's your stick, Jace? Please, like there's many vampire stereotypes we need to cover.
Horrible porn addiction.
No,
That's what the room is for. That's the room.
Oh,
room
the
takes care of
room.
Jace,
That's what he means.
Ryan already has the. Listen, when we should have agreed on the shticks, like the porn, like me being the sexy one and having a porn addicted, counterpart. It's not like super.
Yeah, and then I've got a
super
room.
cool.
You
know,
shouldn't
like-
have turned me into a vampire. That's all I'm saying. I grew up in an age addicted to computers, and I
Yeah.
can use them when it's sunny outside, which means I can always watch the porn. If it's sunny in the video, it can't kill you.
This is why I was hesitant to bite anyone from this century. Like I knew this was going to be a thing.
We've fallen too far from God.
I have a confession to make.
Please.
I snuck into a house. They call it a TikTok house. And I
Oh,
turned
no,
them
yeah.
all into vampires.
You turned them all into.
Brother.
And well, they can't pay rent, so they're moving here.
We're going to be a blood-sucking hype house.
Yes. One of them is a DJ.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. I
7
like
seconds in purgatory.
You guys go to the gym ever?
Yeah.
LA Fitness, 24 hours.
I like to run. It's hard to put weight on the all liquid diet.
I think you can eat other things.
No, it's just the blood. Are you actually a vampire, or did you just get bit
There's
by a
this
bat and you
guy-
should probably
was
get
it-
a shot?
I mean, there's this guy on the Hollywood Strip.
You bit a guy in the Hollywood Strip.
No, I was the bitee.
Oh, Oh, yeah, oh,
Did
jeez,
you
Jason,
did you drink the
yeah.
blood after, or did you
Did you
just?
drink the blood after? Yeah.
There wasn't that much blood. I mean,
Okay, Jace, just real quick, just come over here real quick,
yes,
Jace.
over
Yeah,
here.
Jace.
Okay.
This guy's not a fucking vampire.
He's not a vampire.
He's
He's
not.
been living here for 2
No
months.
fucking way. He's warm as shit. Look
hey,
at
do
him.
you guys
Looks like a
you guys want
fucking
Chipotle?
He looks kind of
Uh,
tasty.
No,
I have a
don't.
DoorDash coupon.
Once
Hey,
again,
tell
I do
me,
not
tell
eat-
me,
Yeah.
when was the last time you ate Chipotle?
Oh, actually, I literally ate Chipotle like 3 hours ago.
Oh, he's not a
Okay.
vampire.
He's not a fucking
Oh my
vampire.
god.
Did they not? Oh, because the
He was
garlic
over-
in it? Is it the garlic in the burrito?
It's the you
I didn't
can't
put
eat
garlic in the
human
burrito.
food as vampire. That's why we're skinny as shit.
So, wait, you telling me this whole time you switched your sleep schedule very easily?
It was surprising. Like I didn't even doubt it for a second. The accent was weird.
Yeah, the accents come and go. Honestly, I can't keep the accent up right now very often with my throat.
I don't even want to eat him at this point. It's not even like he's been living with us.
We've
Frankly,
had some
he's the only
heartfelt
one with a job.
moments. I like the guy.
Hey
We
guys,
connected.
is anybody going in the room right now? Is it?
You can. Oh
room?
god.
Okay, and scene, guys. Okay, that was great. So just notes all around. So maybe a little long in the tooth. I think we really played in the space a bit. Jace, I love the accent. I think you really committed there. Ryan, you're kind of all over the place with the voice.
I'm a little. I'm not operating at 100%.
Ryan got COVID because he's a nerd.
Now, Ryan is a recovering COVID case. Ryan, and are you out of the woods, like from like a symptoms perspective, or are you still recovering?
It's really difficult to explain unless you've had it. Like I wouldn't. I've heard descriptions of it, but I guess I'm out of the woods, meaning I'm not contagious anymore. But like you have no clue whether you're gonna wake up tomorrow and have a different symptom than you have like the previous day. So
Are you
like
CDC? No.
yeah, I'm
no.
all good. I'm all good to go. I'm fine. I'm going back to work tomorrow.
You played your immunity
like-
idol.
Like
That's
The,
not. That's not. I didn't come up with that. Robbie told me
Well,
that from a.
Yeah,
so.
that's good. No, it's good credit work. Cite your sources. That's that's good to hear. You're out of the
yeah. So like the thing is, I didn't get all that much sick compared to a lot of people, right? So like I didn't get a fever.
Yeah.
So I think the fever is the only thing I didn't get. But like, so I was over it in 4 days. So I'm boosted.
Yeah.
And so I can't extol the virtues of that enough. 4 days and I was back on my feet doing anything. I was working again after I took 1 sick day, and then I was working from home.
Huh.
I don't have like a cough, and I don't have a sore throat. I don't have a runny nose or anything like that. But man, like you put me in the wrong situation where I'm like 1 degree uncomfortable, and I just like lose my mind. Like I had a
So it's
panic
a
attack
little
today.
worse than normal. Oh,
Yeah, I had
sorry.
a panic attack today in the parking lot of the bubble tea place. I didn't go in, and just because I was like, oh no, I'm a little short on breath, and I tried to like catch my breath, and I couldn't catch my breath. I'm just sitting in the car, and then I'm like, how long until Julie gets back with the bubble tea? And it was just too much. Like,
Yeah.
and I was to go back to Dracula. Like, I watched this movie literally in the peak of my COVID fog. Like that I watched it on Tuesday when I was out sick, and like literally as the COVID fog was hitting me was like the opening scene of this movie. And so I don't know how much I actually watched and how much happened in my brain. And then the worst symptom of all, I think, is I broke my toe.
Okay. I don't think that's probably a symptom of.
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, but go on. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just walking around the house because I've been in my house now for 10 days. And I broke my toe walking around the house.
Yeah. You just stubbed?
And I can't go to the doctor.
Did you cough and stub it?
No.
Which pinky
So
toe?
Yeah,
Is
my
it pinky toe? Oh, those
it's a
break
pinky.
pretty often, surprisingly.
Yeah, so I didn't think it was broken.
Yeah.
And then the other day I looked down and it's all fucked up.
Well, as I was saying, Ryan, pull your fucking shit together with the accents.
God.
We are a serious improv troupe. Just It doesn't matter if you have a life-threatening illness.
I'm
We
extremely
need to
uncomfortable.
You gotta deliver on
my feet. Honestly, it's my feet, man. I've got such poor circulation in this foot. I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks. I have it elevated under my desk right now.
Mhm.
Like I'm so
Look,
uncomfortable.
I know you're in
Okay.
agonizing
Do
pain.
yourself a
but-
favor, okay? Scoot your chair back, put your feet up so they're on other side of the camera,
Yeah.
so we can't see them, and just
Mhm.
like this.
Oh,
Just
relaxing.
all the way back.
Record for
Yeah.
right
Are you
here.
wearing pants at all?
No, what? Yes, I'm wearing shorts.
That's for the YouTube audience. See, YouTube audience. This
Catch
is what
that
you
on
get
Instagram.
by watching our videos of this podcast. But yeah, this is our Dracula episode, as Ryan mentioned. This was, I think, in many ways, this was our most feverish of the season. We always watch like one.
Literally.
Yeah, literally in Ryan's case. But before we kind of go there, when I was kind of looking at this movie, one thing a lot of people talk about, for better or worse, is the acting in the movie, right?
Oh.
A lot of people pan certain things or they really like certain things. So it kind of got me thinking about just acting as a craft.
Mhm.
It got me thinking about like, how would we do in various acting
We would
scenarios?
blow Keanu Reeves out of the water.
So we've had a couple of episodes where in previous seasons where we've kind of explored this space a little bit and took our own crack at things. How good are we at inhabiting characters after about 5 seasons of seeing 50 plus characters, And we've been doing this thing called improv comedy, where we try to inhabit very specific characters. So it's been a while, I know, guys, since I've put on my coach hat. So I think we can exercise. We did a little dry run in the beginning with the Dracula, pardon the pun. So we can now.
Pun?
What's the pun there?
He sucks
What's
some
the
dry.
dry run?
He sucks the blood dry. It
a
turns into
little.
That's a stretch for a pun.
Yeah, that's out of there for
Okay,
pun
well,
territory.
We're going on joke territory.
I'm
but
the
I don't know
fucking
about
coach
pun.
here, all right? You guys are the students. So I'm gonna run you guys through a couple of improv exercises, and we're gonna see how good you get. So people have listened to our show now for like a year, and they've seen you guys improve under my gigantic wings. So we're gonna
Thank you for
begin
saying
here.
wings.
We're gonna.
In fact, the only positive feedback I've ever received from people is about our improv.
I think we might lose a bit of our audience when we don't start with the movie review, and they're like, "What the? What's
fuck
going
are these guys
on?"
doing? Well, to
Yeah.
be fair, we haven't done that much this season. It's all been about the
Yeah.
caveman.
We've done other games this season, but I figured this is a good chance, because this is. They talk about like the characters in this a lot in this movie. There's a lot of hard hitters, including our boy. So I'm gonna give as a warm up for you guys. I'm gonna do something that's our bread and butter, and then we're gonna move into a more challenging exercise. Okay?
Mad Libs. Is it a
So-
Mad Lib?
What I'm gonna do is I'm on caniget.com.
Do Mad
which is
Libs.
a special generator.
Uh-huh.
First, I'm going to give you guys a location. This is how we do it in caniget.com. Newcomers, this is how it goes. I'm going to give them a location, relationship, and word. Now, Jason and Ryan are going to have to act out a scene, and I'm going to stop them at a given time. So for the first one,
I can't tell if he's
location.
not okay or if he's preparing for the improv scene and he's gonna turn around and he's gonna be in character. And he's gonna wipe
Ryan,
the floor
are
with
you
me.
okay?
He's gonna be like, "It's me."
Honestly, talking is making my throat a little dry.
But do you need to take a break?
Get some warm water.
No, I have a thing of tea here.
Okay.
I just
That's warm water.
Yeah, if you need to take a break, or fucking.
good. I'm good. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to. I think I could probably honestly sound sick.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, I'm sorry I did this on this episode. I didn't even think about this. I'm like, oh fuck,
Okay.
I'm making this sick man do this. Like, okay, all right. Well, just let me know. All right. Location to start us off. The location is a baby shower. Okay, you guys are both at a baby shower.
we're showering
You're-
a baby.
You're not showering a baby. Okay, this is when I think you shower the mom.
Oh, we are dressed as a baby.
No,
It could be.
Okay, you guys
Depends.
color it
We
yourself.
gotta wait.
You guys color it
Shower
yourself.
baby.
Okay. Now, your guys' relationship is a doctor and an assassin. All right. And then I'm gonna have a phrase that you guys are going to have to say. And this is from improvglasgow.com, and they have this thing where it's called Random Line from Moby Dick. And you guys are going to have to work this into the scene.
Okay.
So the line is, vacant unconscious reverie is this absent-minded youth by the blending. All right, so you guys are gonna have to work this phrase into it. I can say it again so you guys can write it down. Yep,
Professor,
down in front.
yeah. What was that?
Yeah, so I'll say it again so you guys can write it down.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if I could say that.
Vacant unconscious reverie is this absent-minded youth by the blending.
This sounds dirty.
It could be whatever.
This sounds like something out of Dracula. We could take a line from Dracula.
Yeah, well, this is a line from Moby Dick, dude. I'm pretty sure Herman Melville. Let me see.
Absent-minded youth by the blending?
By the blending, yes, thank you. So Herman Melville was around in the 1800s. So I think he's a little older than our boy Bram.
With a blender?
I could pick a different line. If this is too difficult.
No, it's fine. I'm only
right,
5 words into it.
Vacant unconscious reverie is this absent-minded youth by the blending.
Do we this is just clarification.
Yeah.
Is it that one of us has to say this entire phrase, or is it that like we have to work these
Ryan,
words
stop
in?
asking questions. That's not how improv works.
Yeah. So, you just say yes and, Ryan. That's the first rule of improv.
Yes, and
yes, and to answer your question, just work it in. Just work it into convo. Maybe one of you, when you see the right moment, you can slip in the line to kind of relate it to what you guys are talking.
You know how like you're in the office in real life, Ryan, and you've got to work in like you're guilty. It's like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's vacant unconscious reverie is this absent-minded youth by the blending. I'll give it to you.
Have random Wikipedia article and random song as well.
What?
Random Wikipedia article you can work in is Ian Lumsden.
Or are you giving us multiple options, or are you just saying that?
Okay. I've given you the things. All right.
Yeah. I pay you by the hour to coach me, and you've wasted 20 minutes of it, like by
times are fucking tough, dude.
Oh yeah, times are tough for you.
Times are fucking tough, dude.
Yeah, cash flows up the ladder.
You guys are taking an improv class during a fucking tough economic time. So who's the tough one now? I'm just working a job.
Children.
So let's just get down to business here, guys. All right, let's get some yucks out. Everyone's looking for a laugh right now. This was a bleak movie we watched. So once again, what is this? This is at a baby shower. You guys are a doctor and an assassin, and whatever I just told you to say as well. Work that in however you see fit.
Nice to meet you. How long have you known the couple?
That's what I was about to say. I delivered the babies.
You deliver the baby? Oh.
Yeah. I delivered the last 7, and I will probably deliver these 3.
You're so close with the family. They're having triplets?
Yeah, how are you at the baby shower for this and you don't know this?
I met John like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we hit it off.
Same.
We went fishing, and he invited me here. We have a love for, we love a lot of the same things. Theater, fishing.
Houseboats. Yeah, man, I'm a houseboat too myself.
So you're a doctor, or
well, I mean, sort of
mid-husband, so to speak.
Yeah, a PhD in sociology.
Oh, okay, that kind of doctor. Yes.
In fact, I don't work in a hospital or anything. It's just like we just have the same commute.
Good at delivering babies, though.
It's just not really. 50%, and like we have the same commute. So like if they're going to the hospital and they don't make it, I'm usually in traffic.
Right.
Yeah. It's. I know we just met. Can I shoot something at you back and forth?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been making too much of a killing, and I've been trying to study here. Can I deliver a line to you really quickly?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
let's go over by the cake really quick. It's a bit crowded over here.
Okay, now we're by the cake. Looks like a good cake.
Okay, pause. Switch characters. Okay, action.
So, here's the line. You come to my house, and you do this to me? You do this? I've never seen The Godfather, but I imagine this is a line from The Godfather. Look how they massacred my boy.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
How is your relationship with your mother?
Oh man. You know what? That's the thing. Is like whenever I think about my mom, I just think about how this vacant, unconscious reverie is this like absent-minded youth by the bonding, or that's not bonding. It's
The line is
blending.
blending from the book. I have a
Yeah.
PhD, you imbecile.
And scene, Ryan. For the non-video, Ryan stabbed Jason's character. Yeah, that was great stuff, guys.
That went on for a very long time. Once again, we were really we were trying to sell the characters.
We were
I
really
want to spend a
selling the
good like 4 minutes selling the characters before I even get to the rest of the bit.
Ryan, you were like a fucking Paul Thomas Anderson actor, where it's just like this like vibe where you build this whole backstory. Like you're like Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards, where he was told this like huge backstory where he's like, it's so colored. So you guys, very
like,
good.
And then he's like, Gorlami. He also sucks at accents.
So you guys, I could see multitudes in your characters. The comedy will come, it'll come after a while. So, but you guys are doing the most important part, which is inhabiting your characters, which I think is really important.
What's funny about an assassin and a doctor at a baby shower? I don't know. Where am I supposed to go with that?
I was wondering whether we should go with the shower angle.
Okay. I didn't give you the prompt. This is fucking generated. Okay, so that's good. So let's do another scene. Let's do another scene. Good job, guys. So I'm gonna do another location, relationship, and another line, okay? Location, customer service desk. Relationship,
Let me guess.
hang on.
Customer and employee.
Computer ship AI.
This is gonna be a vampire and a werewolf.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, little topical. And then let's see here. I'm gonna have you. Okay. And the line one of you guys are gonna have to work in is, "Oh, thou clear spirit of clear fire, whom on these seas I as Persian." Right? Okay, different one. This is.
Okay, I love that one. That was good.
Was her great original, the tire of this Carthage, the place where the, and then that's the line. Okay, no, let's do this one. Bondsman, spurn the idle bell, and the hideous dragon, turn from the, and then fill in the blank, right?
Oh, we
Okay, now read it slowly so I can write it down.
Yeah. Bondsman, excuse me, bondsman, period. Next line. Bondsman.
James Bondsman.
Spurn the idle bell, as they say. Bell is capitalized, if that means anything to you.
Oh, so it's biblical.
Sure. And the hideous dragon, semicolon, turn from the fill in the blank. All right, you guys got the line down. So now let's do a new scene. You're a vampire and a werewolf at a customer service desk, okay? So remember the first rule of improv is yes and build off each other, inhabit the characters, and establish a relationship. That is the foundation of a scene. So find the relationship, find the scene, action.
For the last time, I have told you, I am tired of you yelling at me on this call, okay? We have been making the werewolf colors for a century. I cannot tell you how to take it off on a simple phone call.
Well, it's not my fault that the whole thing is fucking covered in silver then.
Well, that is the point. What do you mean? You bought it, certainly you're calling this 9 because you bought the color, because it is covered in silver?
Man, you said it was silver colored.
What? Oh my goodness. Okay, we cannot protect. You know what? I'm tired of this.
You think
My boss has been a piece of shit.
ones made
Okay?
of gold and the red ones made of red?
You think I have to put up with you on this insolent call every single day,
I'm
like
not
every
like-
other customer that doesn't know how to read? Where
not
were you
like
bitten?
you.
Where were you transformed into a
I'm
vampire
not-
or into a werewolf? Were you
I'm a
bitten?
normal person.
Wha-
You're like my werewolf thing, but the whole time this vampire thing. You know, like I'm a normal person. I can't walk around with this fucking collar stuck on my neck.
Well, this is
I'm a
why.
human. I have a job, 9 to 5. I work.
Why
in a
were you
furniture
searching
factory.
for a werewolf collar? And why would you put it on?
I thought I could take it off.
Oh God, I can't even. It says, "Did you? Are you in front of your computer? You're on the call. Yes.
I can get on my computer.
I want you
I want you to
Hold
know
on, let me close that browser.
what was on the browser.
Something about bondsman. I don't know.
Okay. Now I'm headed up to here, dealing with customers
I don't
like
know
you
where he
that
is. You're on
don't
the phone.
read the fine print.
Okay, what's the fine print?
Color
Pause.
does not.
Pause. Switch characters. Okay. Unpause.
The fine. You want to know the fine print? Motherfucker.
I didn't. Silver colored. I've got to go to work, man. Please help me.
Just get somebody to take it off. Call a neighbor or something.
So wait, anyone else can take it off?
It's the fact that you can't. It's the fact that you can't take it off.
By
That's
the
what you're
way,
upset
we're
about.
in a one-way state, so I'm recording this conversation, and now I know that your collar doesn't work as it's intended. I'd like a full refund, please, and I'm gonna keep it.
Bondsman. Burn the idle bell. And the hideous dragon turned from the werewolf collars into. I'll quit this fucking job.
And scene. That was a great scene, guys. A little long in the tooth, pardon the pun.
my
See, a little bit of improv for you guys from an expert.
I don't understand what
but
the long
it
in the
was-
tooth thing is about.
It was a great scene.
Are we supposed to
You
be
guys-
doing these faster? I don't get it.
Is that what that joke is?
Well, just tighter. People like punchy, tight scene. Like, you guys,
vampire, bondsman, spoon
I'll make a joke the whole time.
Oh, you're a werewolf and we're on a
Sorry for
customer help
establishing a
desk?
world.
Yeah, why even pretend like we're on a customer help desk call if
Let
one
me
of us
guess, you
isn't going to
like
be
these
so fed up with their
Marvel
work
movies.
and their
Let me
boss
guess.
that they want to kill everybody around them?
I have one more exercise.
Oh.
For you two.
I love it.
This is going to be an exercise called Party Quirks. Okay? And so you two, and the premise of Party Quirks
Oh fuck!
is going to
Wait,
be,
is this the
I'm going to
one?
give, I'm going to send each of you a prompt, okay? And you guys are in a party scenario, or I'll give you another scenario. But the point is, you two are going to have a conversation. And at the end of the scene, which I will end at a given time, you guys will have to figure out who the other person is, like what their deal is. Okay? Now,
I
these can
love
be
these so
broad
much,
or
and I will.
specific.
Okay, so for our audience, maybe who didn't listen this last time, this was the only improv. It was the first improv bit that I actually enjoyed doing, but there was a situation. Because I got way too into it, apparently, and didn't give Jace enough obvious clues.
Well, listen, Ryan, don't apologize for getting into character. So that's
Well,
a
the
good
last
thing here.
two times me and Jace just tried to do something, he just told us it was long in the tooth.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm the coach here, so we'll work with it in this one. This is a scene where you guys are going to be inhabiting a character in a way that you didn't have to before. Okay, this is the scene where you get to inhabit something. Let's maybe not make it 30 minutes long, like some people have done. So, but this one will make a tight scene, but we'll really get into it. Okay, and this is an experiment because I want to show that you guys can get into characters more than professional actors, more than some people that are in this movie. Okay, so
yeah.
Well, more like one particular person who was in this movie.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it.
Gary Oldman.
So I'm going.
God.
I sent you guys both messages. Once you guys can see your messages, I'm going to have you take your headphones off and not listen. And I'm just going to say to the audience what I've sent to you guys, just so they're in on it. Okay. So have you guys gotten the messages?
Yeah, I have mine. I'm gonna turn my volume down. Give us a thumbs up when we can put our shit back on.
All right. So I am going to now say it. The one I gave Ryan is a Froyo shop owner who is secretly possessed by Optimus Prime. And for Jace, I gave Darth Vader, who is trying to figure out who wrote a mean note on his car. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna have them put their headphones back on, and we'll do this. I'm giving them a thumbs up. They're putting it back on. The audience now knows what you guys are gonna be playing at. And remember, you want to make this at least passively easy for the other party. Okay, it's a good thing if they figure it out, but just try to color, a fun way to show your character, make it believable, give them some depth. They're more than just who they are.
What's the setting? Hey, that's my guy.
You there. How long have you been standing here?
Well, that's perfect, Jace, because I'm going to have you guys be in a grocery line.
Oh, you're giving us a location?
Yeah, so you
I
guys
forgot.
are going to be...
Yeah, I forgot that's a part of the thing. Okay.
No, that's perfect. So you guys are in a grocery line. I'll just let you start. Jace is already in character. Go ahead.
I asked you a question.
Yeah, you asked me this totally normal human question. An appropriate amount of time.
I would like to know how long you've been standing outside of this grocery store waiting to get in because of COVID protocols.
Yes. I think probably 23 minutes and 57 seconds, going on 58 right now.
Would you happen to know who thinks Neener Boo Boo, you parked your car like doo-doo?
What? Who? Do I know who thinks that? I don't understand. I'm thinking of it right now. Did someone leave that note on your car?
Yes.
What kind of car do you have?
Intergalactic 92.
Oh. I drive that big semi over there. The one with the cool flames on the front?
I have the utmost respect for people who drive trucks.
Oh, that's great to hear, I guess. What's the I don't quite understand, because I didn't leave that note. I don't know what that note means. Maybe this is obvious, but I'm not from here. Sometimes I wish I was from here. I just don't understand. I don't understand these people. Like
I am not from here either.
Sometimes I don't even understand, the difference between ice cream and frozen yogurt. And
I'm only visiting the sector.
Some people like one more than the other. I don't understand it. You're visiting, you said.
Yes.
Where do you like frozen treats?
Tell me who you are.
My name is Inefficientus Root.
Let me try my space magic one more time. Tell me who you are.
That's literally who I am. That's not an alias based on the exact opposite of who I am.
Would you please tell me your name again that I can figure it out?
I'm just here to get my ingredients, my yogurt. So you said space magic. I'm familiar with space. I don't know this magic thing. I honestly don't think they have that where I'm from.
Where are you from?
Oh,
you will tell me.
Burbank? I guess is that a place?
I have surmised that you are not the person who called me a Neener Boo Boo.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That's what I said. I think, man, so yeah, that's once again, man, that's not gonna work.
Hey guys, are you guys in line? You guys in line for the grocery store? Oh God! Hey, I'll just get behind you guys.
I will defend this with my honor.
Did you call me a Neener Boo Boo?
You guys are both making a lot of noises for me. I didn't call you anything, but honestly, you're coming on kind of strong right now.
Do you want coupons?
I've got some, I guess.
Are you aligned with the evil Megatron?
I'm just in line, trying to get in this store. You're
uncovered you once again, Megatron.
I'm gonna leave now. All right. Scene. You guys have killed the third party that I've introduced.
Yeah, rather ceremoniously.
That's a real good way to end a scene. I guess he was a bit of a wet blanket, so I think maybe it's best you killed him off.
Yeah.
And
so Jace's character seemed to have two things. He was Darth Vader, and he got,
in your opinion,
and he parked poorly at this Trader Joe's, and therefore someone left an angry note.
Okay, and then Jace, what do you think Ryan's deal was? What was his prompt?
First, I thought he was a space fish man from and then he said he's from Burbank, which I think is in California. Which
is the airport there.
And then he started talking like a robot to you at the very end there. So he said he knows about space. I kind of think he's a Decepticon or he is a Transformer. And I don't know.
And what's his deal,
he is lactose intolerant, so he's looking for frozen yogurt instead of ice cream.
Okay, that's you guys are both really close. So Jace's prompt. He was Darth Vader who was trying to figure out who wrote a mean note on his car. Nice job, Jace. Great Foley work too. What the audience was missing out on was that you were waving your hand as like a force, and there was like the perfect between every question. And then Ryan was a Froyo shop owner who was secretly possessed by Optimus Prime.
That's a lot more convoluted, I feel.
It's difficult for me to work in the Froyo stuff.
You try. And I did introduce a third character just to create some more expository notes. It did work because you guys pretty much shouted all your character details straight at him.
Yeah, I said Megatron. Are you Megatron?
It summarily executed him on the spot.
Darth Vader would have done it.
Yeah, Optimus is actually pro-killing in a lot of circumstances, I think.
Optimus is kind of a fascist, right? Like, did they vote him in? Or was it literally just because he came from a line of primes? And took over.
It's nepotism over there on Planet Prime.
Yeah, people think Transformers are so fucking great. Like, how come they transform into like Camaros? So you think?
Well, I think a certain end of the political spectrum thinks Transformers are so great.
Oh, okay.
Same group of people who like the movie Armageddon.
Yeah. I mean, I like Transformers. I think Optimus is pretty cool. If he is a fascist. But like, I'm not a robot though. Like, I don't really care what his like. I
would agree with that. Yeah. Like,
I would agree that you're not a robot.
Like he's not coming here to like do like like fascist stuff, right? Like he's here to just do other stuff. Like, but it's his alignment. Like if I voted on his planet, like then I'd care, right?
Well, they don't have that anymore because
it's gone, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter. So they're
oh.
Yeah. Well, great.
That turn into planes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Starscream.
The big cool. Yellow one's the sun.
What?
Brian, are you feeling okay? You're saying a lot of stuff right now.
Ryan, hear me out. Maybe the perfect segue. You seem a little foggy. Just start giving the summary for Dracula.
We watched Dracula, guys.
Is it my turn?
Keanu Reeves movie Dracula.
It's your fucking turn.
It's my turn? I was wondering whether it was going to be my turn or not. Okay, so we have a bit of a situation because I am not entirely sure that like I knew what the story of Dracula was before this movie.
I don't know if it matters. Does it?
Well, I'm confused about I'm kind of confused about what happened, and I'm kind of confused about why they chose to put that stuff in the movie.
Well, just give us, just the setup, and we can parse it out. Maybe. Maybe we can figure it out.
Dra-COOL.
He is cool.
Let's get this out in the open.
Dra-COOL guy.
Dra-COOL. Played by Gary Oldman. He's a great actor, and his wife is played by Winona Ryder. And back in the day, I think in the 1400s, in Transylvania, which is, I think, Romania around, right?
Yeah, I think it's a part of Romania.
Yeah, it's basically like Vlad the Impaler, right? And so Vlad Dracula is like warring across the countryside, and he loses a battle, okay? And word gets back to his castle in Transylvania.
Well, he won the battle, right?
He won the battle.
I think he lost.
I think he won the battle. There were just some underhanded tactics.
Okay, I guess it's Ryan's synopsis, so I guess
he lost the battle.
He outranks us here.
Word comes back to his wife, and she thinks she for some reason thinks that he's dead. She for some reason thinks that he's dead.
Dang it!
And so she does the old Romeo and Juliet. And he gets back, and the priests have her like perfectly preserved body, and they're like, "Oh, well, she's going to hell because she killed herself."
Sorry,
and
loopholes.
does not fly with Vlad. And so he gets to chopping, and he says some pretty bad stuff about God.
Yeah.
If God.
Wait. God.
God, duh.
God. He says some pretty blasphemous stuff. So they say like, "You're cursed forever," and the blood runs out of shit. Okay, that's pretty much all I remember. No, and then he dies somehow, right? He's like cursed to live. Oh no, he doesn't die. Who the hell knows how he actually turns into a vampire? That's never explained.
Yeah, it isn't.
He drinks the blood out of the cross.
Oh, he does the sippy sippy.
He did all the sacrilegious shit. He stabbed the cross. Sorry, Ryan, it's a synopsis, but briefly he drinks the blood out of the cross, make it turn to vampire.
Disagree. But and then 600 years later, Keanu Reeves is a lawyer, and he is sent by his firm to go to Dracula's estate and help him make a bunch of real estate purchases in London. And they need the help of Keanu Reeves for some reason. And Keanu Reeves' sweetheart, Mina, she looks exactly like Winona Ryder. And basically the rest of the movie is Dracula finding out that Keanu Reeves' girlfriend looks like Dracula's old wife. And the fallout, because then Dracula goes to London and does some heinous stuff and reverts his age? It doesn't make any sense. And they make this girl sick. And then they go back to Transylvania and they have a race. There's a big race scene. I'm not joking. And the movie just sort of ends.
Yeah, I think that's just about it.
It's about 3 hours in between those two. It's literally set up and then a bunch of stuff that really does not matter, and then credits.
Oh, sure. And this, what I wanted to color in as well.
Oh, we'll color in. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna color it. I don't want to spoil it.
Right, but also just as background for Dracula in cinema. As you guys probably know, there's a fuckload of Dracula movies. There's, by my count, when I went on the Wikipedia page, there's roughly 96 or so Dracula movies released. We saw one of them. That's crazy. There's, I think, 10% of all movies are Dracula movies. Some of my favorites that I went through and wanted to get your guys' opinions. Billy the Kid versus Dracula. That was a 60s
hell
one.
yeah, dude.
The Bandit versus Dracula. Another one is Batman Dracula, which is an unauthorized Andy Warhol fan film where Batman tries to fight Dracula. Later on, there is another Batman versus Dracula that is authorized in 2005. This one, if you look at the trailer for this one, this is fucking wild, is The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, which is a kung fu movie where Dracula leads a team of martial arts master vampires against Peter Cushing's Van Helsing.
What's the rating on that?
Take my money.
Yeah, when was that?
It's the 70s. This was at the peak of kind of the kung fu type
exploitation
movies. It's got Peter Cushing right before he was in Star Wars, and it's a vampire movie as well. And then, of course, this one, which is what we tried to watch in our dog season, Zoltan, Hound of Dracula.
Nice.
That one just looks like a banger, dude.
Guys, I know what I'm pitching.
Dog movies, round 2.
Dog movies, round 2. Dracula movies not even vampire movies. Dracula movies on their own just could inhabit multiple seasons. But yeah, just wanted to cover that because we did see a Dracula, probably one of the most iconic for our generation.
Yeah. It's weird because I really had never heard of this movie. And I consider myself the person who kind of has heard of them. Between the three of us,
yeah.
And so
That's surprising.
I was surprised I did not know about this movie.
Well, this movie was nominated for 4 Academy Awards and it won 3.
What?
Best costume design,
Okay.
sound
Yeah,
editing,
it's all in the
best
special
makeup,
effects. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
best art direction nominated. It had an original song by Annie Lennox of the Eurythmics, Love Song for a Vampire, which was in the credits, which fucking slaps. The music video is amazing. The moody synth.
Yeah, the music video is 3 hours long.
It's the movie. There's a skit in front of the music video. But yeah, I guess first impressions, that intro of the movie, I was kind of shook by the fucking intro. I thought that intro
Kind of a
was
banger.
fucking sick.
Oh, the intro to the movie? You're talking about in the actual, talking about the movie itself.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Speaking of, wait, when he was, we're talking about 1400, right?
Yeah,
Or am
1462. Yeah.
Man, I was hooked.
Right? Like that was
I
awesome.
was like, is the whole thing gonna be like this? Narrator, it wasn't.
The only thing, I
Yeah.
want to be honest, they spent all that time on the costume design and the VFX. If a woman jumps off of a cliff into water, she's gonna be exploded. Okay,
He's gonna be destroyed. That was like the first thing that popped in my mind. I was like, how? Wait, was how far was that?
It's like the biggest gap ever. I was like, they go through describing. He's like,
She's got a bloody nose.
She jumped off of a cliff into a river. And it's like,
What the fuck?
I saw you just showed me how big that cliff was, and then she's like,
What do you guys want from the movie? A fucking bucket in the middle of the thing holding
sure.
his wife? Like,
sure.
They literally like they have like
Christ.
all these crazy special effects that are revolutionary apparently.
kill
And-
herself some other way. Going from like, she jumped off a
Poison or
cliff and bloody nose.
I think of all the things. I just
Oh,
Okay,
it's
That's
stuck
big.
out immediately. It stuck out
Movie
immediately
magic.
to me.
Okay, it's like having the main character in your film get shot in the next scene, their hands cut off, and it's like, oh, they were cut by a sword. When your narrator
Yeah.
just explained to you that they got shot horrendously. It was like, what's the...
It's like something out of Black Dynamite or something.
okay. So you guys just wanted his obliterated wife on the church
No,
floor.
She
It's
could have
not
killed
that.
herself in any other
Why
way.
would you do that? Yeah, why would you do it?
I
Where she dies a horrific death. And then, like Jay saying, it's like, imagine they didn't choose jumped off a 500-foot cliff, and
been
they
anything.
chose, like, she burned herself. And then the next scene, her normal body is just chilling. Like,
Well, maybe it was the mannequin.
I know, but the fact that me and Jace both noticed it and it both took us out of the film. Yeah, I mean, in my synopsis, I skipped over a lot on purpose. I didn't talk about the comings and goings of the characters and stuff because some of that stuff I wanted to like get into jokes with, but like the vast array of characters I think kind of distracted me from what this story is really about, and it's like about Dracula going after this girl. The intro was the best part of the movie because it was just this story. Like you had this desire and you had all this, betrayal and misinformation and stuff. And then it gets into the movie and it's 2 hours about this woman who's in London sick. And it's not even someone that we've talked about so far.
Oh, are you thinking of Lucy?
Yeah,
his
most of this movie is about this woman who gets sick in London, who's rich, and she's Mina's roommate, I guess, in a way, or like best friend. And all the suitors who are there who want to marry her. They're the main characters for most of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of revolves around Lucy because she's, I think, the first victim, right, of the vampire. Because she gets bit and she's kind of being drained, and then eventually gets to the point where Dracula makes the decision out of frustration to convert her right into a vampire. And that's, I think, where maybe in the original stories where it's like, oh shit, this is something he can do. He can convert people into being like him. And maybe that's the scary part.
So there's an unnecessary hour or so where she's like on the mend. And she's like, every day, she's like, I'm getting better. And they're like, okay, well, we'll check in tomorrow. And then cut scene. It's tomorrow. Let's go check on Lucy today. Like, Jesus, golly, man. And where's this guy from Texas come from?
Hey, guys, we need
Texas.
a way to explain Van Helsing, okay? It's gonna be tough. He can't just be one of the main characters. He actually has to be known by a doctor that's trying to bang Lucy.
Right. Sounds perfectly logical, James.
Dr. Van Helsing, there's a lot of characters to talk about.
Anthony
We can
Hopkins
start with
killed
Van
him.
Helsing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
my opinion.
He's the only thing that saved the second half of this movie.
Anthony Hopkins played Van Helsing, and also the priest. I guess he was kind of a reincarnation, like Mina. He was that initial priest that Dracula screamed at in 1462.
Oh,
That
I
was
didn't
also
catch that.
Anthony
Who's the
Hopkins.
priest?
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, he played both roles, where he was the priest and back then, and then he was also Van Helsing. So kind of the mortal enemy throughout time, just like Mina was his kind of love throughout time.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well,
Okay.
it's deep
Like him
shit.
better.
It's a fucking Coppola film. Come on. It was
Could have fooled me.
Van Helsing, like he brought in like much needed comic relief. I feel.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was
yes.
funny, dude.
I was so happy when I laughed like in this movie because for like an hour and a half, I'm just sitting there staring at the screen and hoping it gets better. And then Anthony Hopkins kind of like revives it a little bit.
Somebody asked a stupid question. He's like, yes.
And then people in the 90s were like, this movie's amazing because it's got this guy's name on it.
Yeah, like his some of his lines were so great because like Mina will be like, "Oh, how did Lucy die? Was she in great pain?" He's like, "Yeah, she was in great pain. We cut off her head, drove a stake through her heart, burned it, and then she found peace." And just their expression of like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And during the funeral where he pulls aside one of the suitors and he's like, "Hey, I know you're sad, but hey, can you cut off her head and rip out her heart real quick?" And the guy just walks away. He had the I heard like the original Van Helsing. I grew up with the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing. I don't know about you guys from the movie. The original one's supposed to be kind of like a mad old scientist, which was new to me. I was expecting like the hunk Van Helsing, not kind of the genius.
Like we get the separate. We get the medical doctor who has this wide array of medical field knowledge and historical knowledge versus the dude that's buff and he's like, I slay vampires. I'm gonna kill him. We got the nerd in this one.
Yeah. But this dude was cool, man. Like you guys want to bet this guy knows how to fucking party in
dude, he fucks.
Yeah.
1892. This dude
when he just slaps down there at that restaurant, he just slapped down that giant piece of meat and he's like, here you go, eat that. Come.
Yeah, this dude was nutso. He was fun to watch. Speaking of nutso dudes, I mean, what'd you guys think of Gary Oldman as Dracula, man? Like
Creepy.
Yeah.
I think Gary did such a good job. I think it's a ham job for the ages. Like he hammed it up so much. I thought maybe for a while he was like he lost himself there a little bit. Sometimes I forgot it was Gary Oldman, except for when it just turned into normal Gary Oldman. He was my favorite part of the movie. I think apart from Van Helsing's limited screen time, but like.
Yeah,
he did what he could. I think without Gary Oldman, if it was just someone kind of playing it a little bit straight, this movie would be even more forgettable, unfortunately.
Sure. His performance, there's that term where it's like wet. It's the opposite of dry, where it's just so fucking hammy, so campy. Like he's doing these huge accents. Like we were doing ridiculous accents earlier. This dude was really bringing the accent in. And then like when Jonathan Harker, bless his heart, most fucking polite house guest I've ever seen. When Dracula was doing his crazy shit, like trying to shave his face for him and swinging a sword around, going crazy, I was glued to the screen. Like Gary Oldman, I think, kind of owned the whole space, and kind of acted circles, I think, around most of the cast.
Yeah,
that was the worst part because like I'm watching these scenes with Keanu Reeves, and we'll get to Keanu will get his piece later.
We'll get a whole section for him. Yeah.
There's this section where you can tell the camera work is very like, I want it framed like this, and the lighting is like this, and there's a separate guy playing Dracula's shadow.
Oh,
and like,
dude, sick.
And so it's everything's like in motion and stuff, and Dracula's like doing this huge speech, and he's got the accent, and the words are very precise, and then Keanu's like, whoa, dude, I like totally am gonna write this note for you.
Whoa! I just came straight off of fucking Bill and Ted.
And I think some of the pauses were awkward, and I think my biggest problem with this movie was the editing. And that
the fucking sick ass scene transitions where a fucking wolf's eyeball would erupt into fire?
I love that shit.
I think there's a difference between like.
Are you talking about the story where we have no idea how much time has passed?
Exactly.
And we're very confused.
There's a difference between scene transitioning like with your camera work and transitioning scenes like in your screenwriting. Mm-hmm. And there would be these really cool. There was this one where there was a focus pull towards the camera, and they're in a garden. And they're making out, Keanu and Winona Ryder. And then there's this peacock feather that like goes in front of the camera.
Sick.
And it focus pulls out and focuses on the peacock feather, and then does a crossfade like into a setting sun or something. And I was like, whoa, that's really cool. And then it's just like, hello, I'm in Transylvania now. And there was no reason to jump that. So either they just cut that out in the interest of time, or they had like a second crew and they Jace.
Keep going. I have a question after. Keep going.
Or I think they might have had a second crew that they just forgot to hire, and that was supposed to shoot all like the in between transitions, and they just never got around to it.
Take the scene for me. I have a really geography, especially 1400, and then Keanu Reeves going from London to Transylvania. Do what you did in the second half of the movie, where you show the map and show us the map in the first half. Because, I mean, 90% of people out of high school failed U.S. geography, so they don't know shit about...
Why would they take out a map 2 hours into a movie where they're painstakingly explaining everything? There's like 3 minutes of footage of Keanu riding in the journal, like, I'm now crossing from France into Germany, and then on the other side of Germany is Poland. And then once we go to Poland, there's a couple different routes we could take. So we're going to go a little bit south, and... Oh my God, dude, just show the map. And then later, there's like 8 people on screen, and there's multiple people going different places, and they're like, map time.
I never got disoriented where they were. For me,
because I know where Transylvania is.
I guess. I mean, they showed the map a few times in the story. I don't know. I liked those travel scenes. Like, even though Keanu's terrible accent aside, I actually like those scenes where they're kind of doing like a weird double exposure thing. He's talking about his trip. It seems like I'm reading his journal. I read part of the book in middle school, and I just remember scenes like that where that kind of pulled me in, where I just feel like I'm inhabiting a part of his life, where it's like he's going to a far ass away place. And I think for me, that set the tone, but maybe it's a pacing issue.
Tonally, I'm on board with you. I agree. I'm the 50-50 point. I didn't know where the fuck he was going or how he was getting there, because I must have missed the map in the first half of the movie, which would have made it really clear. Because when I saw it in the second half, I was like, yeah, okay.
Right. That second one, because they were actually going hard. He's going to London. We're gonna go through the Strait of Bosphorus, and then we're gonna catch him over in the Black Sea. And
it was like a freaking middle school math question. That was my least favorite scene in the whole movie, because they were like, okay, so what's going to happen here, audience, is we have the ability to use trains, so we're going to go faster than him. He's in a boat, but he left yesterday. Well, that's the thing. So like,
don't ask that question.
He left yesterday. So he has more time, but at a slower rate of speed. We have less time, but at a higher rate of speed. So we should get there at the same time. We're going to get to this port. At the time that he's coming to this port, we're going to show up. We're going to burn his boat. And then they get there, and they're like, we were wrong. He went to somewhere else. It's like, why did you fill that 2 minutes of explaining a word problem if it doesn't matter?
It shows that he's smart.
And then they do it again. And they're like, if we leave now on foot and go 8 miles per hour east, he's going 12 miles per hour west, and we should meet at this intersection.
His boat actually just got raided by pirates, and he died, and we don't have to worry about it at all.
Great.
He did do a total party kill of a pirate boat, didn't he? On the
way back? Yeah.
On the way to London, I think he did a total party kill of a pirate boat, where he just came out and kind of went crazy.
Which is sick. They're going to do the same thing in Morbius?
Morbius? Oh, Morbius, yeah. Yeah, maybe a little hint for a future season. But Dracula took a couple forms in this movie. He had like his creepy old guy form, which I think was great. Fucking, ballsack Palpatine, that look. But then he's got this sick, like, steampunk Ozzy Osbourne, young Gary Oldman, which I also thought was a great look. Like,
sick glasses.
And not sexy.
Yeah. It's for a certain type, I think.
Because, like, imagine that dude
in the Matrix.
Imagine from BoJack Horseman, when he's like, can you imagine him in his underwear? It's like, I literally cannot.
In your opinion, I thought he had a sexy vibe, but I think it's definitely of a certain type. And then this also may be our first actual furry movie, I think, with one of his forms.
Yeah, we can talk about this, please. I have a question.
I have a question too.
Maybe it's the same question. Are all vampires also werewolves, or is this just a Dracula thing?
Yeah.
So forgive me. Like, I remember one of the original things about Dracula and maybe vampires as well is that they're shapeshifters. and they can take forms of different animals. I think where the bat thing came from. I think a wolf is one of them. So yeah, like he does change into a wolf man in this version of the game.
So he's a bat, he's an animagus, and he's a werewolf.
Right.
I thought his vampire form was just kind of was hairy. Or did he transform into two different things?
No, he's got a different vampire form, because remember when he's in the house and he's like actually like the really cool giant vampire guy?
Oh, I thought that was disgusting. He didn't even have wing flaps. He just had weird chicken arms without hands. He was like,
well, it's different how effective the build is, but
yeah, I mean that's his like when he's like horny, and that's what he turns into. But like he has part of it is shape. He's a shapeshifter.
We're not so different after all.
I think with this original version of Dracula is that he has these vague Satan powers. That's why he has all these things that aren't typical of regular vampire movies.
Is that why he has the weird hairy masturbation palm hands?
Yeah, okay. So this is the thing too. He just comes up out of nowhere, like way before the wolf thing is explained, and just presents globules of hair
in his hand. And I just remember that, you know, multiple times I've heard that people say if you jack off, you're gonna get hairy hands.
This has been said. Jace is not just being blue here. This is something that was said to us as children.
So
Dracula is a horny old man who lives by himself, and yeah, maybe that's why he has hairy palms. And then when he leaves, he doesn't have hairy palms anymore. So you do the math. And when Keanu had that scene where, you know, he's kind of in like a four-way, and Dracula was surprisingly cool with it. You know, they were Dracula.
Doesn't Dracula show up and then like not really intervene?
He was kind of like, "Hey, come on, guys!" Like that was a weird reaction.
Dang!
I told you not to come over here.
And that also introduced like one of the most hilarious scenes where like he pulls them away from Keanu, and then his four vampire wives, they're like, "Oh, are we to have nothing tonight?" And I'm like, okay, Dracula's about to have his own four-way. But then he's like, here, he pulls out a baby and throws it at them, and they just eat it. And Keanu's like, what the fuck? Like, and then it just changes the scene.
Yeah, okay. So I want to make this clear. I mean, this is to be said.
You would have loved to be Keanu trapped in that castle with the three wives.
That's not what I'm saying. It's that like I'm gonna shit on this movie, but this movie was up my alley like so far. But like with how like heavy metal 100% into being like weird and horror and like scary
and horny.
I just don't think it was executed that well. But it was, I think I really like the vibe it brought.
No, definitely, dude. And you guys probably get this vibe from what I'm putting out, but like if I can beat just everything on the table right now, I fucking love this movie, dog. Like,
that's fine.
I know,
and that's totally okay. But like I think it's one of those movies where, and we're gonna get into this, but there are so many awesome ideas packed into this 2+ hours of the movie.
So long.
But that doesn't make it a good movie. Like, you know what I call things that have a bunch of cool, creative, visual ideas packed into it, but they don't necessarily make sense? A music video. Like, this is like this whole thing is like a music video. Like, they were just like, then we're going to do this with the camera. And then I got this new trick and we're going to do this. And like, there was most of the trivia for this movie is like, hey, did you know that all the effects are practical? And they were just trying, each scene was an attempt to figure out how to do something new with the camera, even when that scene wasn't necessary. And so sometimes I imagine that they didn't want to cut certain scenes or chop them down or edit them in, like, to be shorter, because they were like, oh man, but we worked on this camera trick for like 2 weeks. And so while this movie either needed to be shorter or longer,
I'm not blind to its flaws. It's a very imperfect movie. I just think tonally and the visual aesthetic was so strong, strongly up my alley for me. I think it connected in a big way. But yeah, I mean, all those criticisms.
Oh, I also was literally sick with COVID.
Right. This is also a tricky movie to watch when you're not 100% on. If you're inebriated at any level, it's gonna be a trip, dude. So like, this is definitely like, this feels like an LSD trip when you watch it. the visuals, the fog, the colors, the logic of the scenes. It's just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's one thing too. It's like, it's so hard to follow.
Yeah.
If you don't know the story of Dracula, it's basically nonsensical. But then again, they shoehorn in all this weird stuff about like vampire lore, and they don't really explain it. But it's like kind of a nod to the audience, like, don't worry, we understand vampire lore.
One of my least favorite parts about the movie was actually how much Van Helsing was able to just come up out of nowhere with the vampire lore and somehow pull the whole story of Dracula out of that book. Tonally, it felt at the beginning like he murdered everybody in that castle and nobody was left to survive. And then he just pulls out his encyclopedia. He's like, oh, Dracula, 1400. Oh, wife died. Shit. Stabbed across, made a ham. Filled with blood. But at the same time, I did like that he was like, oh, he's Nosferatus. They're vampires. So it kind of makes it more pervasive. Made me feel like the world was a bit more filled with these issues than what we were being shown at the exact time. But at the same time, still kind of nonsensical and like, oh, we can literally find Dracula's story in this book. We know who this guy is. Okay.
Yeah, it was like kind of like this quack who knew this obscure piece of knowledge and that he was right. It was like like the conspiracy theorist in a movie where he's like, oh, I know this, and this is a fucking death snail, and he knew all that. But yeah, it was kind of fast, where he kind of just like, oh, I found one book, and I guess I'm the only literate guy in this entire town, so maybe that makes sense why he's the only one who knows about fucking vampires. All right, let's talk about Keanu, man. We've been beating around this bush. Keanu's not in it a ton, but he is a prominent role. He has like a top billing in this movie. He's kind of the new star at this point in his career. This is like one of the most lampooned performances, I think, in like modern film history. The accent is so famous. Like, I heard about the accent thing way before I watched this. Man, I didn't think it'd be. I was preparing for bad, but when I heard it, where he's like, "Oh, hello," like that's not even.
It's me doing my bit.
It sounded like Ryan's London bit, but somehow worse. I can't disconnect Ted from his voice. Dear God.
He had the same exact mannerisms as Ted too. The like quick, short look to the left, which is something that we look for now in Keanu movies because it's a staple. Like
let's be clear.
Short
not
dialogue,
getting a low Keanu meter.
Yeah, but like short, sparse dialogue with awash stares and quick turns of the head into a stop.
Totally, and then not have something profound to say. Right? Yeah. Like there's other actors like Matthew McConaughey might have a similar setup where he has like a reaction to something and then he says something. Not necessarily prophetic, but like this kind of old country smart like way of looking at the problem, or like maybe something charming. Keanu was just like, okay.
He was a bit bland in this movie. And if I may, and just for briefly, can I screen share with you guys to kind of play a scene? This is a deleted scene in the movie, just to kind of show, fun. Just to kind of show what we're talking about, because I think people need to hear this accent to really understand what we're talking about. So I'm just gonna briefly screen share like a little 20-second clip. Okay, this is a scene with Mina and Jonathan Harker in a garden.
Jonathan! My superior, Mr. Renfield, finally lost his greedy mind, and I've been promoted in his place.
Jonathan, I'm so happy for you. Then we don't have to wait. We can be married right away. Oh, I must tell Lucy. When, Jonathan, when?
When I return.
Return? From where?
I'm off to exotic Eastern Europe. Some foreign count is acquiring property around London, and I'm being sent to close the transactions. Money is no object. Extraordinary. Can you imagine the power that sort of wealth commands? Think of it, Mina, royalty.
I'm thinking about our wedding, John.
We can be married when I return. A grand, expensive one that Lucy and all her aristocratic friends will talk about.
Jonathan.
Why isn't that in the movie? Fucking show that. I don't care how bad his accent is.
Like,
that's why they cut it out, is because it's so fucking bad.
Like, when he's just like, yeah, totally, dude. I mean, like, going to Eastern Europe, man.
Mina, this is gonna be so sick.
It's like the thing is though, I didn't really feel the weight or any precedent to their relationship without that scene. Watching that 30-second clip made me be like, oh, she actually did like him.
Yeah, they spend zero time. They have this like 15-second conversation before he leaves.
Well, maybe the director's cut, dude. I mean, Francis Ford is one of those.
He's known for the director's cuts, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe there's like a 6-hour version of this that maybe has
it's a redux.
But yeah, like that's kind of the flavor we're dealing with Keanu's performance. I fucking love the guy, dude, but this was so miscast. Oh my lord.
It's either miscast or misdirected in a way that, like, as soon as you see that he can't do the accent, go a different direction. Be like, oh, this is my American dude.
Yeah, please. Just a small throwaway line. He's from the new state of California. Just that's it. And then he's good. He can talk like naturally. Did you guys kind of see his, Brian, you might have because you were on IMDb page, like the Francis Ford's kind of comments on the accent? He's kind of talked about it a bit. Like, he said, they wanted, he used the term matinee idol. Like, he wanted a heartthrob for Jonathan Harker because he was like, this is not a good part. You just kind of want someone that's going to draw in some audiences. He's like, he tried so hard. That was actually the problem. He wanted to do it perfectly, and it came off really stilted. People don't realize how hard he worked on the accent. And he was like, I tried so hard to get him to relax with it and not do it fastidiously. But he's like, so maybe I wasn't as critical to him because I liked him personally so much. To this day, he's a prince in my eyes. And maybe he liked him so much.
And that's Keanu. That's Keanu in a nutshell. Like, even when it's not perfect, he's very lovable.
Yeah. And you know what? He actually dated Sofia Coppola after making this movie. Like, I think he met Sofia on set of this movie. So he dated this dude's daughter, and they broke up and stuff. But even still, Francis is like, this guy fucking rules. He's the best dude. I love this guy.
Hey, Denali, when like you give us direction after we do improv, and you say that we did it bad and could get better.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is that because you don't like us like Mr. Coppola liked Mr. Reeves?
So the other thing I wanted to kind of cover about Keanu's thing is that, like, his attempt at London vernacular has been cited as one of the worst accents in the history of recorded film. There's a scene where Josh Winning from Total Film, he says that you can visibly see Keanu attempting not to end every one of his lines with dude. And, it's just painful. And he said the performance looks like he's perpetually constipated. It's kind of a damning review.
I wasn't bothered by it. Like, that was not my problem with the movie.
What? Was it the lawyer stuff?
No, but no, seriously, like,
was he actually a lawyer?
He was a lawyer.
Yeah,
he was a real estate lawyer.
Oh,
my problem with the movie wasn't, oh, Keanu's accent sucks. My problem with the movie was that, like, you are making some really weird choices, and like, my time would be better spent doing other things while watching this movie. Like, in fact, I would have preferred more Keanu.
Really?
I think that I would like the movie better if they did more Keanu and less of the Lucy and her literal 3 boyfriends.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of mentioned to me too, we were kind of off camera, but like, we wanted more scenes with him in the castle where he's stuck there for a month, right? How did he get out? What is he doing in there? That's kind of interesting, right? Like,
well, we saw how he got out.
Well,
yeah, he did slide off the side of a building, but like, I wanted to see scenes of him just kind of, I don't know, looking in the fridge.
Yeah, or investigating the dark secrets and like, maybe figuring out a way to set a trap for Dracula later, or like maybe figuring out a secret about Dracula that he needs to get to London about and tell the rest of the vampire hunters, or they won't be able to know how to stop him.
Oh, yeah, a great scene would be he's reading Dracula's diary, and Dracula's like, "Dear diary, I fucking hate the sun. I'm super weak when I touch it. I hope to God no one finds out. Also, holy water fucking sucks. Can't drink it, can't get near the stuff. Anyways, signed Dracula, gotta go." And like, I want him to read a scene like that, and then he can come back, bring it to.
Unironically, yeah.
Dracula's diary, day 2. I was kind of turned on when I saw my 3 wives with him. I cannot stop thinking about Jonathan Winthrop.
Wait, what's his name?
Oh,
Jonathan Harker? Fuck.
That's our Dracula porno, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh.
That's actually not the first Dracula porno either, because there was a
course not.
1969 nice porno.
Also,
called-
this movie.
Literally, this movie.
Okay, this movie was so erotic and so horny, like literally. I don't think, even if you made a porno parody of this, I don't think it would be hornier than literally this movie.
Hey, I just want to let you know, in the Bram Stoker's Dracula IMDb Parents Guide,
Yeah.
the first note is 2 women kiss.
Oh, God.
In a parent's guide, in a movie where people are getting fucking impaled and burned.
And then the second
dare
part is Mina and Lucy looking at the illustrations in the copy of Arabian Nights.
Literally,
Dude,
that was
there's
like
some-
40 minutes in. Yeah, there's some dude, like, he's ripping people apart in that first scene.
That's one thing is so strange about the way we censor and act and rate with movies. Like,
Lesbians?
any tiny
Oh.
little act of like sex is immediately, into the R category or X category, if you want to put it that way. And then you can have someone getting dismembered and stuff, and it's totally okay for children.
But just the kiss? Like, fuck, dude. Like, how many hetero kisses are there that, like, don't get notes, man? Shit. It was just one smooch, man. They weren't like, there was fucking plenty of shit that was before that. Fucking 1992 assholes. Anyways, that dinner scene with Dracula, I think, was like a fucking hilarious, like, Key and Peele sketch or something.
Yeah, I wanted to know more about the food. Like, I was literally thinking, like, what's he like? What do you think he's got? What do you think he's got there? Right? Because Dracula doesn't eat human food.
That scene was like our improv thing we just did, where
He serves him a plate of food.
yeah, I mean he has it. Like, he has servants too.
Yeah,
Like,
and
in
are
his
they
cast.
vampires?
Oh, that's
or
right.
are they just
Well, he
like
said they were
mind
just
wiped?
gypsies from around the area that they just
That's
serve. 'cause he's
kinda
the
Yeah,
local-
problematic.
that's racist, by the way. We need
That's
to
really
probably address
problematic.
that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
another thing too is like, is being a vampire not that big of a secret then? If they just like have this open hiring call, hey, I need a bunch of dirt to go in these boxes so that I can send them to a different country, and then I can literally sleep in the dirt.
He's probably someone who's extremely rich, right? And you know, vampires are obviously not well known. So if some eccentric billionaire that I was living by, they're like, hey, here's a shitload of money, just put a bunch of dirt in these boxes and put it on a ship, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I don't
I'm not
give a
asking
shit.
a
Like,
question.
yeah, like I'm gonna do that shit. And like, to go back to that dinner scene where Keanu is visibly uncomfortable. He's sitting there and Dracula's saying a bunch of crazy shit. He's like, oh, my family, we go back a while, killed a lot of fucking people. I'm super creepy. He does this thing where he pulls a sword on Keanu and points it at his neck and like kind of threatens him for saying a comment that was just kind of like offhand. I think Keanu just kind of laughs at something that he says, right? And then he's like, okay, well, I like you, kid. Stay here a month, I insist.
Yeah.
Keanu's like, fuck, okay. And he just stayed. Shit, I would get the fuck out of there the first like hour, dude. I would, I mean, maybe it's just old sensibilities, but man, bless his heart. Jonathan Harker's the most polite guest I've ever seen.
He got picked up by Dracula's carriage like a day away from where he got dropped off. That dude
That's
isn't
true, yeah.
escaping. I don't know. He's thinking, he's like, shit, I gotta leave. There were a lot of wolves in those wolves.
Yeah, that's one thing too. Is like I think they set up how remote it was.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I think they did an okay job. I think it would have been really nice with a little bit. They like, oh, we can hear the wolves. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, look down. Here's some vaguely wolf-shaped shadows. Oh, ho, ho. It's like, dude, get some B-roll of some wolves. Like, National Geographic is out there all the time. They've got the footage. I
Hard
think.
to find wolves in LA.
All right. I think,
Fair enough.
I think this movie suffered in some aspects because it wanted to do something tricky with every single camera shot. Oh, how are we going to imply that there's wolves down there? We're going to make these crazy stuff happen and dancing shadows and stuff. Just like, yeah, sometimes, dude, you can just put a wolf on the screen.
Keanu did mention the bloody wolves outside, like
Yeah.
in one of his scenes. He yells at Dracula. So fair enough. Maybe he just he didn't, but he did escape though. He did escape.
I wouldn't, if I saw all those wolves and it took me that long to get there, I'd be like, this guy reminds me of my grandpa. He's weird. Yeah, I can get it. You know, he didn't actually hit me with the sword. I think I'll stay.
I'll stay. He helped me shave that one time. He came up behind me and started like hugging me and breathing really close to me. And I think he licked my shaving razor. That was weird. So, okay, one thing Keanu did say was that he did comment on this movie. He did say that he wasn't happy with his work on it, to be fair to him. And I think his acting's improved over the years too. But he said he was exhausted after making several movies back to back by the time he got this. And he said he didn't have the energy. He couldn't give the role the proper like effort, I think, or the energy for this role is what he said. So to be fair to him, he doesn't think this is his best work.
That's fair. Doesn't make it suck less.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's totally okay.
He knows. I think is what he's trying to gently say is like,
yeah.
And Francis Ford Coppola was like, listen, I fucking know, man, but come on, he's Keanu, dude. Like, and was it who's the? Do you guys know who the original? Who was originally being considered for this?
No clue.
This
No
role,
idea.
I think I wrote it. Yeah, so it was Christian Slater was one of the original.
Oh, I love Christian Slater.
Original choices, another 90s heartthrob. And then the other one was actually Johnny Depp, who was the OG choice for this. And I think he ended up not doing Johnny Depp because he was like, no one fucking knows. Johnny, it was 92. So
Johnny
he was
Depp
like,
could have killed it. I'll be
He
honest.
Johnny Depp
I
would have
think he
killed
would've-
it. And Christian Slater.
Yeah.
Christian
Yeah.
Slater got his turn in Interview with the Vampire, though.
Oh, shit. That's right. I haven't seen that, but yeah.
The superior vampire movie, let's put it that way.
I think either of those two, let's face it, like I think most probably would have been better. Like someone who could nail a British accent. Johnny Depp is British, isn't he?
No clue.
I thought it was
Fuck, I
just
can only-
weird.
Do you guys want to get into the meter?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Am I first this season?
Yeah, tee us off. Keanometer.
Yeah, the Keanometers is where we're going to rate Keanu. We all have different scales. Mine is basically an equal combination of quantity and quality and Keanu-ness. We're middle of the pack on quantity. Like this isn't he's not the main character. He's not Dracula, and he's not like Van Helsing. So, I mean, I'm giving him a middle there. Quality obviously is pretty low, but he gets us saved by his Keanu-ness, because if you replaced him with a different actor, it wouldn't be the same because it would not be nearly as bad. And I think that gets a little bit of respect from me. So I'm not scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm going with a 4 because he gets partial points in 2 categories.
All right, a 4. Jace?
Yeah. You sent us one more of those timely things where we somehow end up reviewing a movie that has gotten some kind of attention over the internet. You sent us a thread about this movie that was on Reddit like 2 months ago, and somebody said, "Yeah,
I think it was on. Literally, it was posted today."
Oh, you said it was today. Okay, even more. So, neither of us, of the 3 of us, I'm almost positive posted it. So somebody said, I just can't. It was almost like a Bill and Ted skit where they went to Europe and he was interacting with Dracula or something. I think volume seemed really low to me. Like when I'm thinking about this movie, I'm not recalling Keanu, but he was very aloof. I thought it was funny how poor the accent was and how I was just like, independent of that article, I was like, wow, this is just Bill and Ted. Whoa.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more Keanu-y than Matrix. No, fucking I'm gonna give it a 4 too. He's got good hair, but I think just volume is so low. And then I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna come back.
Did you beat him up?
One knot. Yeah, I'd beat the shit out of this guy. God.
You beat up Dracula?
Could I beat up Dracula?
Okay, young Dracula after he sucked enough blood.
God, after he sucked enough young British blood.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Yeah.
I'd ask him where he got his
That's not even a
sunglasses.
question.
The answer's no, but I'd ask where I got his sunglasses.
Oh, these? It's old fashioned.
Like, nobody else here has blue lenses, dude. Where did you get those? Please give them to me.
How fucking discreet.
A 5.
Like 5. Okay. You got 4. We got a 4 out of 5, right? Middle of the pack for the Keanu meters for y'all. Yeah, I think I'm gonna push back a little bit, just because I was a little disappointed, or I was a lot of disappointed with this movie as far as the Keanu-ness goes. The volume I thought was really low, especially in the second act. He kind of disappears for the most part once Van Helsing shows up. He gets a lot of screen time in the first act, and I think almost too much. Fuck. Like his accent was so bad, it completely yanked me out of the movie. I got like whiplash, man. I was engrossed in the scenes, like the acting, everything was, in my opinion, was great. And then once Keanu starts talking, and like he just completely yoinks me out of the scene, I'm like, oh shit, he's doing a Ted thing here. And so for this reason, I'm gonna have to give it a lower score. I think he was completely, unfortunately, out of his element with this. I think Keanu is someone you need to cast for a certain type of role. Doesn't mean it needs to be the same role every single time, but with this particular role, I just think he wasn't equipped for it, unfortunately. So since he was underutilized, he didn't really have a lot of volume. He didn't get a whoa in here. I think this is actually the worst Keanu performance I've ever seen. I'm going to have to give it a 2. It gets a little bump because I thought he looked fucking great in this movie. I like the Victorian drip, dude. And then he did seem Keanu, I guess, but it's not in a good way. A 2.
Yeah, I don't want to leave it at a 5.
Keanu in a way that he can't shake.
Yeah.
I'm taking it back.
With a 5?
I can't give. I know normally we like set it. No, it was terrible. And I'm just looking back right now. I gave Matrix Resolutions a 4, and he was in 75% of that movie. He was in maybe 15% of the runtime of this, and I gave 47 Ronin a 3, which again, in like
kind of
50%. I'm gonna go down just 1 point to a 4. I don't want this to be a 5 because you made some really good points.
Okay, that's big of you. Thank you.
I might go lower. I don't want to deviate from my original score that much.
Yeah. If you change your mind throughout our movie reviews, you pipe in. We'll change the marks. We'll adjust the meters. Ryan, what's that movie meter? What are you feeling for this?
This is the hardest thing for me, right? Because it's on a balance of like, this seems like a movie that I would love, but I did not love, and it's so up my alley that it's not up my alley. Like, I would rather watch a movie that's really, really solid story-wise and not that creative visually than I would a movie that's just trying to be this 2-hour-long visual spectacle. It's like watching Fantasia. But if Fantasia had like a 45-minute long chunk in the middle where they were just in broad daylight in London. And I don't know what else I can say much. Like, the editing I thought was really poor. And the climactic scene where they're supposed to be like staking Dracula in the heart is this gun battle that felt super out of place. And there was no suspense to delivering the final blow. They just walked up to him and stabbed him in the heart outside. And I thought I was really disappointed with the ending. Going back to like the editing thing, is that editing between scenes is supposed to make things more clear, but I thought it was the opposite this way. Sometimes I was not expecting a scene to end, and then it would just pop into a different location, date, time of day, characters. Usually you want to try to keep one thread if you can, or make it obvious that time has passed. But Keanu would just show up with like gray hair in a random scene. And like visual effects, everybody talks about how cool the visual effects are. It was just crossfades. It was just double exposures and crossfades for the 90% of the visual effects. Like, there was so much crossfading, I thought I was back in the 11th grade. Like, this was so unnecessarily complicated from a visual standpoint that it lost its direction. It got lost in the woods on the way to Transylvania. I've got not much positive things to say. I'm going to go with a 3.
All right. 3. Jace.
Shablam. I wrote my score down before you said yours, just so I would stick to my guns this time, and I also gave it a 3. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought some of the story was. I thought it was the visuals for me was the best part. I liked the transitions from scene to scene. I thought it was unique that, in my mind, the gray hair, it transitioned. There was a specific point where he'd gotten back to London and his hair started transitioning from gray to the full gray that we get at the end of the scene, just to show that his maybe his youthfulness had been sucked out of him. It was really long, and I kept like, I don't know if they knew what they wanted to do. And I'm amazed because a lot of people think this movie is a lot better than I think it is.
Yeah, I agree.
I just wholeheartedly wouldn't want to sit down and watch it again. 3.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair, dog. Like, I don't disagree with anything you guys said, and I feel weird being in this position. Normally, I'm not in this position. Like, I'm in Ryan's position with Matrix Resurrections, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Like, I went into this expecting to hate it. I had the novelization of this movie because my parents actually owned the special edition of this movie because they really liked it. And like, I was reading the reviews, I was trying to see like if I would like something like this and if we should pick it for our season. And I was like, okay, this is a certified shitter. I'm gonna fucking hate this. And then when the intro scene hit, I was so engrossed. I was like, oh fuck. And then I was like, okay, but maybe it's gonna kind of like die down because a lot of people hated it. And yeah, dude, it was totally my shit, man. Like, it was a mess. It was a fucking absolute mess. There was significant pacing issues. There was some performance issues. I think even Winona Ryder's accent, I think, kind of rode a line a little bit, even though I think her performance was fine. But like, there's so much going on here. There's a lot of really cool practical effects. I liked kind of the reverse film tricks that they did. I thought like the practicality of the movie really made it for me. The real costumes and the built sets were so cool. Dracula's fucking gothic ass armor was super sick. The red color palettes, everything in there. Yeah, dude. The wolf attacks where it shows it from the wolf's perspective, and there's like quick cuts of like how the people die. Like, there was some cool artsy shit in here. And there were some great performances. We talked about Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins, Winona Ryder. I liked Lucy's performance as well. Tom Waits as Renfield, I thought was really great as well. And I remember when we watched, and you know, back in high school, one of our friends, Ian Hendren, he played in a Dracula play.
I thought about this the entire freaking movie.
And I remember that was, first of all, Ian, if you're listening, that was a great fucking performance. I still think about it sometimes.
That's all of my Dracula knowledge comes from him.
Yeah, and it was a kind of a slight, I mean, it was Bram Stoker's Dracula, I think they were doing at the time as well. And I remember like a scene from that play too, where he bursts out of the crate. And like, I remember just like parts of this movie, I would flash back to watching that play. That play, it fucking blew my mind. And seeing it from a different perspective in the movie, I think made me like it. I think maybe more, maybe because it just rekindled some of those memories I had watching the original play in our high school, which apparently blew my fucking mind. But yeah, like, I love the soundtrack. I like the visuals. There's huge flaws. I'm struggling to reconcile my objective feelings about this movie, but I think I'm going to have to settle for a 7.5 for me. Like, I'm gonna fucking, I feel like I would watch this again. Like, to be honest, just for me. I think this is a movie that maybe takes some big ass risks, maybe some risks they should not have taken. But for me, it just lined up. All right, maybe for my brainwaves, this is a Denali movie. Okay, I'll watch it. I'll recommend it.
Well, you know, it comes to a point in every season where a member of the GBGBs has their Sahara. And Denali, fuck you.
This is my Sahara, all right?
What was my Sahara?
Matrix Resurrection.
Probably literally Matrix Resolution.
We had 2 Saharas this season, okay?
Because I think everybody gives their Sahara a 7. It's literally a 7, and the other 2 is a 3 or 4. It's like, what? Sue me. I liked it. Fuck you.
I liked it. Okay. I mean, this was Yeah, this was like horny Sahara. This was like a sexy Sahara.
My Sahara might actually be.
Sahara was horny.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
We like that. I thought we kind of like.
I know, but I love that.
Okay.
I like
Jace's
that movie.
Sahara.
Yeah, that movie.
I think Jace's Keanu Sahara is probably maybe coming. Maybe it's the lake house for you. Like maybe
Jace is
Yeah.
okay. This is the funny thing is like Jace is the exact type of person, and just knowing him too, there's a 50% chance that he fucking loves the lake house.
I liked the lake house when I saw it. All right.
Depending on whether like what if he said like one drink, there's a really good chance of him liking the lake house.
Maybe we'll all have a guilty Keanu pleasure this season. So yeah, I mean, there's a divergence of opinion of the board, but that's why we do this, folks. That's why we have our patented 3-judge system here with 2 meters to make it as fair as possible, because that's what we're about.
Complicated as possible.
And complicated. Thank you. And a Byzantine system, if I may.
If you will,
throw back to the movie. One thing we didn't mention was kind of the suitors. Like I remember
Texas boy, yeah.
Quincy, dude, he got the last hit. He got all the XP from the Dracula kill.
Yeah, and Carrie Elwes was in this movie.
Yeah,
and was the only one that deserved to be in this movie. That's the thing too. Is like
that Robin Hood.
Yeah,
he was Robin Hood. Yeah.
Yeah. The funniest thing is they had so many vampire hunter characters in this movie. There was 5 of them, and. Yeah. Do you need that many named, like, explained background characters?
Take it up with Bram, dog. Quincy was in the OG.
But we're not making
last hit in.
I understand that, but like
I like that. Because it was like 3 regular dudes that were like, we were actually kind of just here to try and get married to her and party. Yeah. And yeah, I've got this Bowie knife.
It's fine, but like this movie is, I think my biggest complaint about this movie is that it's a 60-minute movie stretched to 3 hours, compressed into 2 hours. Like, so it either needs to be shorter or longer, I think. And if you decide to give the backstory to these suitors, it has to come into play when the vampire fighting gets down. It needs to be more than just just a guy standing there. Like the Texas guy needs to be like really good with guns and stuff. And then like, well, right, but that didn't really pay off. And Carrie Elwes needs to have some like, I don't know, rootin' tootin'. Maybe he's good with like a fencing sword or something because he's rich.
A mustache. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, I think there is something there, because one thing me and Amber kind of talked about a little bit was like during the movie, we were like, I like that they're all just broing down now when they used to be kind of
and they didn't like take off.
They really took it in stride. The 3 of them were like, oh shit, vampire, all right, let's take care of this together. And then I read that Francis Ford, like, he actually, to have them bond, to make their characters naturally build off each other, he had them go on like a bunch of like adventures. He paid for them like to go horseback riding together and go hot air ballooning. Like they actually went all over. Like
that maybe goes back to my hypothesis is that they've invested so much in these scenes that they're afraid to cut it.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's another scene though, like to kind of build their relationships together and maybe build their characters more.
Perfect. Throw it in.
Why
would you cut that?
That scene where Dracula turns into a bunch of rats was bussin'. Where he was like,
fucking cool. Can't cut that. You can't cut that. That was sick. Because they were like, don't let him go in the shadow. And his red eyes. Fuck, that was cool, dude. I love the visual effects in this movie, man.
Yeah, for me, like, I think the pacing issues is the biggest part. Because it was jarring at some points and then really, really slow at some points. And like, I didn't like that every scene was either revisited later in the movie or like was separated by such a long amount of time before it was resolved. Lucy was bitten by the werewolf scene, and then 45 minutes later, he comes back to actually turn into a vampire. Like, that's one scene. You can just do that once. Like, that doesn't need to be 2 separate scenes. Just do it all once, guys. and then you could have like distinct periods in the movie. I never felt like there was distinct periods in the movie where I'm like, okay, now I'm in this section of the movie. Because when Homie went to London, Keanu was chilling in Transylvania. So it's not like there was a Transylvanian section, then a London section, then a Transylvania section. There was always this overlap, and it was like a patchwork of scenes.
Yeah. Well, Francis Ford, if you're listening, give us all 92 hours of this movie. We'll edit it together, and we'll make a fucking GBGB's cut where shit makes sense. We keep all the practical stuff and the cool visual stuff we like. Maybe we'll do our own Keanu voiceover. Keep all the cool vampire stuff.
Yeah, this movie is so close to being like a 8 or 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, it's a Francis Ford movie. Shit, dude. Like, this is the director of The Godfather. He made The Godfather.
Some people say like this is his best movie, and I'm like, it's not. It's literally like, for someone who has made like 2 of the 5 best movies ever made, this is not his best movie.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. What we were saying, with the Ben Affleck season, like sometimes just shit just fucking lines up for somebody.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be people, and like I'm not even on that spectrum, but like there's people who are like, they're like, this is the best fucking movie ever, and I love it, and this is best work.
Yeah, and that's, I think I started this whole podcast by saying like, could this be someone's favorite movie?
Yeah.
Like that's a good way of thinking about whether or not this is a passion project or whether this is like a studio shitter. Like, and this definitely could be someone's favorite. I'm imagining it's a lot of people's favorite movies.
Oh shit, yeah. Well, with that, guys, we digested our latest Keanu movie with Dracula. If you guys seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, let us know what you think. Hit us up, email us, fucking hit us up on our social medias. Do you guys like this movie? I'll put a poll up for on our story and see what the take is. Do people like or hate this movie? Because I think this is one of those love it or hate it things. And with that, guys, I mean, what are we feeling for episode 6? We have episode 7 planned out. I think we can say it ahead of time. We do have a guest episode lined up for 7. That's gonna be with Speed.
What do we? Oh, Speed. Okay, yeah.
I think we
watching the Lake House.
Lake House, dude.
Yeah. You want to do Lake House for 6?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
There was enough action and some love that now I need to have more lovin'.
I wasn't prepared
Lake House
for
lovin'. We're going to the Lake House.
Oh, you know what?
Meet me at the lake.
This is perfect to lead up to Speed because this is Sandra Bullock, Keanu Reeves. This is like the second time they met up together to playing opposites. So we can go from the Lake House and go to Speed, see them in their first role together. All right, next week we're doing the Lake House. Okay, we're doing the Lake House, guys. We keep getting off topic. I'm having to cut most of our conversations because Dracula. This is a wild
movie for monetization.
Yeah,
this is a wild ass movie. We hope you guys will join us for the Lake House. It's a time-traveling romantic movie between Keanu and Sandra Bullock. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, man, why do I want to watch a rom movie? Okay, these guys watch a lot of rom-coms. They watch like 6 of them in the Matthew McConaughey season. And to that, I say step out of your fucking comfort zone, all right? Not every movie's got to be this bloodbath explosion movie. Keanu gets it. He fucking goes out there and makes a romantic time traveler movie.
Yeah.
All right, be like Keanu.
Yeah.
Explore new avenues.
Rachel McAdams special.
What?
She's the.
Please end it on that. Please end it on.
She's the time travel. She's the time traveler's wife in a bunch of movies, including one called The Time Traveler's Wife.
Oh shit, she fucking is. Wait, Jace, tell us. How do we find this?
Thank you for joining us on this episode reviewing Bram Stoker's Dracula. You can find us on Instagram at Good Boys Gone Bland. You can find us on the Twitter at the GBGB Podcast. Tweet us. And finally, as always, send your erotic Dracula fanfiction to gbgbpodcast@gmail.com.
Dracula, I don't think we need that actually.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
It has been many years and my love has not been reincarnated.
Oh no. Thank you, Dracula. You guys think since Dracula's so old, like there's like he's got some like problematic views, like can you imagine what
Yeah,
Dracula's like?
he literally is Vlad the Impaler. So
He's literally Vlad. Yeah, what's that dinner gonna be like? He's like, oh, I was really,
I impaled someone. I hit
It's
the
like-
bottom of his spine.
It took so long to get through the other side.
They're screaming.
That's the worst part.